Dear friends, hello everyone. With you, I'm again the TheDeinekoArtem, and in today's video, we will have a review of two new snapshots at once. These snapshots attribute us to the new version of Minecraft, and mannequins were added in this snapshot. That is, NPC, which we can fully custom for ourselves, put on a reservation, make custom Nikki for these mannequins, and a lot of interesting things. Also here, we have new technical changes, new textures. We will talk about all this in detail in this video. I will show you all the teams to create mannequins and a lot of interesting things. Therefore, before the start of this video, do not forget to like, subscribe to my channel, press the bell if you did not. Well, we go to the review of two new snapshots for Minecraft at once. Let's go. First, we move to the very first snapshot 25 to it was 36, and because here we have a large number of changes. But in the second snapshot, he left immediately 2 hours after the main snapshot. Here we just fixed two bugs about which we will talk about today. Look, here NPC flies, but today we will talk about NPC in detail today, only a little later. So let's start from the very first change. Now the world border, that is, the boundary of the world, depends on measurement. This means that each dimension will have its own size of the boundary of the world. That is, if you, for example, world border, put for example, in the ordinary world to 1,000 blocks. This border does not apply to Hell and Enderworld. If you want to put another border in the Enderworld, then you will have to prescribe again. The world border command is already in, for example, Ender of the world of its own border, and it will not apply, for example, to Hell or to an ordinary world. Who did not know then, for example, to put a border in an ordinary world, she was attached immediately to all world. There the vendor world, and also, well, now it is changed and is now attached to a separate dimension. A separate border of the world is obtained. So, here the NPC flew down. Yes, under the blocks, but today we will again dwell in more detail on these NPC. There are quite a lot of interesting things. Therefore, by order, guys, super new this one that appears in the Ender world. Let's get back there again. This is our favorite Ender world. And now for now, your Ender dragon is not killed. You will not have supernova, that is, the outbreak of end. But the most important thing is that you see, the texture will still change. This is the so-called radiance. But there will be no flash itself until you kill the Ender of the dragon. As soon as I prescribe the kill team, the dog E type, for example, Ender dragon, to just kill him. Give Ender dragon. So, where is he? Is the Ender dragon. That's it. We kill him. And now with a certain chance in some place we will have this supernova star. That is, this is a glow. Well, until you kill the dragon it will not be. By the way, you see, we have a super new one. And we have this outbreak, that is, the textures of our Enders are changing. But while our dragon is not killed, we have this fog that does not allow us to overtake supernova. And also this flicker on the Embernican. It is less noticeable than when we kill the dragon. Let's go back to the ordinary world of Minecraft. So I jumped into this portal, and then we can tie two buttons and more, there, 3, 4, 5 to 1 action. For example, I go into settings, key assignment control, and here I have, for example, a button for movement to the right. It is attached to my button D, and now I can also tie this button D to jump, for example. We tie it, and you see it is now emphasized not in red, as it was previously, but yellow. And this means that two actions are tied to one button. I click on the letter D English, and I can just move in this way. That is, I jump and go forward. It also works with other functions. For example, we can also tie the button D to the function. That is, when we paint. And now, when I click on the letter D, I steal right away, and jump and click on Shift, and it pleases me pretty much. This is very cool, I think. Well, let's now return it all. So, we press the reset. And also the reset everything, now a gap, D and cross on my control on the left. Yes, who did not know? I have Shift Zabinden, that is, when I click on crass, I have Zabenzine on control. Mini is such a fact about me. We move on. The texture of green torches is changing. That is, these copper torches. Now she is so pale dull. This is due to the fact that daltonics could not previously distinguish between colors. Green torch, right. I don't really know how it works with them, how it works for them, but in short this is done for colorblind. Now people will be able to distinguish where what torch. That is, it is ordinary. This is from our Sand of Souls. That is, not a list of souls, but, you understand, such a blue torch. a torch of a soul. Now here is a copper torch more so dull. By the way, you can now see what the early torch looked like in the previous snapshot on the right. It was so brighter green. Well, the usual growth torch, the texture is unchanged. Of all these torches, except for the usual copper torch. It is also connected with lanterns. The lanterns also have more so pale color. They are not bright now. Such are some strange. Well, let me show you all the copper torches that we have here. Not torch, or rather, but lanterns. Well, that is here. The lanterns too have changed their color to a dull color. Fix the bug that is associated with the shelves. This is already the 5th snapshot in a row where I mentioned the shelves. I don't know how many more these shelves will be in snapshots, but in short, the bug is now changed. Earlier, for example, we had a lot of blocks, and we put 3 shelves in this way. 2 connected together and the 3rd behind. All our objects that we had in the inventory moved immediately to 3 shelves. On these 2 and the 3rd, which stood from behind. Now it is fixed and our items apply to only 2 these regiments. This shelf is not taken into account with us. The next improvement in Minecraft is 1.20, 1.9. Now that you have a large number of textures, that is, particles, this is how in my case. See how many particles are here. 10,000 will span every millisecond there. See how many of them. My Minecraft almost does not lag at all. This is due to the fact that now that, for example, we do not look at these particles, they are not loaded with us, and accordingly your Minecraft is not loaded. That is, if you have there too many particles, for example, on the server, someone decided to make you, or specifically so that your Minecraft would put it, then he will not succeed if you do not look at these particles. They are not loaded with you. Do not draw, and accordingly, you can see my FPS now. I have 504 FPS as soon as I look at these particles. I have 280 FPS and almost doesn't lag for me. Well, a little FPS has decreased. I can calmly run where I have these particles. Earlier, because of this number of particles, Minecraft could just fly out or would completely put it up as die. Now this is not, and we can calmly spavy a large number of particles. And this is cool. Double click, for example, write some kind of text in Minecraft. Here, I wrote some kind of text, and now I can completely copy it with a double click on this text. Everything. The text is copied. We can also, as in the previous snapshot, change some text. That is, select it, add, change, and so on. Double is just changing the text. The text there to select it, delete it, and so on. It also works in command blocks here. For example, the team icon simply, we just take some text with a double click and select it as if it works. Previously, we had to pinch shift, take these arrows here and like this for a long time. Now dabble is working coolly. Or we can just take it, select the entire text, and that's it. And we do not need to take clamp shift. This is a long time with the buttons with these by all. That's it. This one works cool for us. Data Pocky treason to the version of Minecraft at 86. Resource packs were not touched by the developers. This is due to the fact that we added mannequins. Yes, friends, many who are waiting for mannequins. Mannequins are the same NPCs who only work in our vanilla Minecraft. You will not need any plugins fashion. It all works very cool. So, our master disappeared somewhere. Well, we are going further. So, the creation of a mannequin. A mannequin is created by the summon Minecraft mannequin command. It is called a mannequin, not NPC. If you write summon NPC, you will not succeed. And also indicate the coordinates where you will have this NPC tower. For example, I want a mannequin to appear under me now. Let's prescribe the summon mannequin command here. Is such a team, and just write tilde, we will all have a mannequin. He is ordinary, we cannot do anything with him. He is in our survival, friends. That is, you see, I beat him. We cannot put it creative for him yet. Perhaps in future snapshots or versions we can completely somehow edit this NPC. For example, it would be cool if the developers added some kind of interface, for example, when pressed by some subject, or a mannequin with the right mouse button to open a menu where we can, for example, add to him some scenarios, for example, how he will move, and so on. Of course, this can be done now with the help of command blocks. It's all cool. It would be cool if there was some separate interface, as in plugins or mod. Further, we can add a skin mannequin by the summon mannequin command. Again, we indicate the coordinates where we will spack the mannequin and indicate the profile. In the profile, we can indicate absolutely any license nickname. I pay attention. If you do not have a license, then you will just have some kind of default skin. Well, for example, Alex or Steve. This way, summon Minecraft mannequin tilde profile. We indicate the nickname of your account, for example, or the nickname of some other person whom you want to sprinkle NPC, for example. Here we have a dinar ball. Look guys, now we have such a cool mannequin. Here with such a skin, Azo. For example, we can sprinkle Jeb. Here Jeb, please, look, and we can, for example, night, right? Night, let me have such an inverted night to fall asleep at night. Here is a fired night, please. Everything works cool for you. For example, you want to specify some kind of default skin, some kind of resource pack in which is changed. Let's now dwell on the skin. So we can indicate the path to yours in your resource. For example, it will be entity, player, white, and there is already Steve. And change, for example, Steve's skin. And accordingly, you will not indicate this profile for the mannequin. You can just summon, and accordingly, you will be changed the skin of this Steve, and the one that you have installed in the resource pack. We can also make this NPC mannequin monitor you. Do not remove the look from you. Let us transfer this team block to this mannequin, to which this command block is attached, because here we have a tag. How to indicate tags? I will show you this for mannequins now. Accordingly, the team looks like this. I'm the blogger that shows all the teams that are used in Minecraft absolutely free, without any subscriptions and so on. Therefore guys, here is who wants to have fun with friends or in a single world, please. Here is a complete team for you. Yon found Mustai. Thank you very much. These are all the teams. Mustai was engaged in them. Accordingly, our tag is attached to this mannequin. How to do it now? I will show you this too. And accordingly, when we activate this mannequin, it is completely watched for us as it is done, for example, on some cards. This, by the way, will be very useful in the maps. In general, well, it is completely almost these mannequins replace plugins. Fashion. Well, unfortunately, there is no custom-made custom type, as is done in the plugins. Interface storage. Well, I think you can do all this with how to do it. Or maybe I will write down a single full video separately, along, where we will fully analyze all the functions, all the teams, how to make a mannequin. Well, in general, I think, even in this video, you will completely understand everything in detail. The next team allows us to move mannequins. Accordingly, this is what Mustite is doing this now. Here he has command blocks. Accordingly, even here the command block. Well, in short, we can completely move the mannequin now. For example, I also had some kind of command block. Here, which is attached to this mannequin that we have here. Execute S. We indicate the tag of our. It turns out, this mannequin in our case is S, so he will move along the coordinates -0, as many as 2/10 of X. He will fly in height. For 0, as many as 2/10 blocks. And also 0, as many as 2/10 blocks. It turns out by Z. And all this is done with us. Well, that is, he will move in a second. That is, here he flew at us. Let's stop it, and he will just take it and fall respectively. Well, we can tell him different. Let's say coordinates, that is, where he will fly. And all this works quite cool. For example, if we want to slow down, let's make it so that it moves to 0 as many as 500 on the X, and he flew a height very quickly. 0 for 5/10. Well, for example, here we will also make 0 too, so that's all. Now we run, he flies up, a little moves along X, on Y, and that's all. He flies away with us. Well, I think now, he is with us. Ah, bam, and we'll fall. But he will not break with us because he has Nazarita. So, accordingly, if we want to add stack to this mannequin, we are prescribing the tag team. And that means we look at a certain mannequin that we overshadowed. Here, for example, the most ordinary mannequin. So we look at her, you see, we appear, which means that ID of this essence here, tag. Accordingly, then we prescribe add and already indicate name. For example, then 1, 2, 3, 3, everything. Now we have created a tag for this essence. That is, yes, we must prescribe a tag and specify the ID. ID appears when we look at this mannequin. We can create a mannequin that we will have with some nickname. For example, a profile. We have Anade, and therefore, he will be with us. Come on, now I will spill here. His jacket will be hidden. That is, it will be hidden with him. The so-called, well, that is, now you will see that is, we have in short, we have the impices who have just created this team that you see now in the chat. It means he is hidden. A cloak or double layers on the sky, a mask and so on are hidden. And this is how this skin looks like. Here's his nickname. Again, I just found him a native to somewhere. Guys, come on, let's fly away like that. Well, accordingly, here we have a profile. Let's put a drum now with the same mannequin with the same nickname and I will demonstrate it. Then we have a profile. And here we have a nickname. A, lower emphasis, N, A, lower emphasis. This is what a skin should look like. Since we hide him, it means cape. We hid his cloak, but he already does not have a cloak. Head and also a mask, that is. You all see that here we have an ordinary original skin here as a skin that is the NPS of the mannequins of which we have just created without this mask, without double. See, these are different objects well. That is, the usual skill that we castrated under ourselves on this mannequin also, respectively. We can add a custom nickname for this mannequin. That is, the name, for example, custom. we prescribe the text and let it be. For example, TDI the third. We can indicate absolutely any text and we create a mannequin with this name. And that is, with a nickname then 1 and 3 below, we have a post certificate of the NPS that is not removed. She doesn't get out of us. And we can also create, for example, some NPC, which will have a certain armor on it. It is done in the same way as other mobs, for example, there zombies, there skeletons, and so on. Minecraft, Mannequin, tilde. You can indicate his health, for example. He has 100 health. And here you are simply prescribing, respectively, reservation. On his head, there will be a non-zero helmet. The bib of him will have a non-zero bib. Oddly enough, means that he will have non-zero, and also non-zero boots. Actually, NPC, a mannequin with the armor, which we just indicated. Well, accordingly, we move on to two small changes. Immediately came out a couple of hours after the main snapshot. It changed two other interesting bugs that we have. We were on the previous snapshot where you played there when you place Ember's notebook in an ordinary. It turns out the edge. Just if you go to the edge, then you just place an ender of chests. Your Minecraft painted. Now this is not. The developers quickly changed this. Immediately understood that the players began to complain about this bug. When we are now placing an ender one in the Enderworld, everything works fine, it does not lag for us, and nothing paints. A small such bug that was changed. Well, the second then, a bug. He was on Major 2. I don't know. There is any server that you run at a snapshot, and if a player appeared near you, then the game also painted. Also with the player who is near you. That is, if I would now launch this server, Minecraft does not paint either with him or everything is fine, because I play exactly the 36th version of 26b before. An hour ago, I would record this video. This snapshot would not have been. Then Mustai could not come to my server and play with me. How cool it looks, damn it. He created a clone stupidly. And the bridge is now running with a mannequin. In short, with these mannequins, with these NPCs, you can come up with a lot of interesting things. And for this, I put a large like developers. It seems to me that these mannequins and NPC had to be added before. At the Minecraft snapshot, 25w36, and it was added. And I think it is cool, because now the new version of Minecraft will be released with NPC, and with many interesting changes. We got such an interesting snapshot. 25w36. Be sure to subscribe to my channel, press the bell if you have not done this. I was with you, TheDeinekoArtem, Mastes 48. Good luck to everyone for now. They're a friend.